fruit and mind your business. Eat fruit and mind your business. Hey guys, it's your girl Kay, and welcome back to another week's episode of Eat Fruit Pod. And we have our special co-host with us today again this week. You guys showed her mad love. What's going on, Miss Nima?
Nothing much, girl. Just, it's the start of the week, and I am ready for it to just have its way.
Literally, we were like just talking, and we're just gonna let things be. Take it one day at a time and just squeeze it in where we can. But, eat fruit and mind your business. It seems like some things happened since we last spoke.
Yes, they have.
So let's dive right into fruit salad. We're not even going to waste any time. Will Smith, the Academy has finally come to their, ending decision.
Agreement.
On this whole debacle that has gone down. And they came to the conclusion that they would like to, they have banned now Will Smith for 10 years, including any events related to the Academy and the Oscars. What are your thoughts on that?
I think at the end of the day, they had to make a decision so that it wouldn't look as though they were encouraging or condoning that behavior. So, 10 years ban is not going to stop Will from doing whatever he has to do. Again, he decided that he wanted to resign. He resigned even before they even decided to make a decision about banning him. And I feel like the Academy did what they felt like they had to do, in reference to his behavior and how he acted out. So, it is what it is, there's consequences to every action. So, a 10-year ban, 10 years can go by very, 10 years, I don't know. It just kind of depends. But 10 years is basically a long time, but it could go by fast. There's so many other things that I think that Will probably wants to be able to focus on more than him attending, a Academy event. So, I don't think it's going to be something that's really going to knock him. It's just something that's going to, allow him to be able to reflect on the things that he needs to reflect on. So, 10-year ban, they did what they had to do, but Will is still going to win. That's my personal opinion.
It's just so many things that irk me about this, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure you've worked in the corporate world or the workspace, and it's just the punishment that us as Black people get versus white people for doing things or other nationalities. It's just it's just very it's just very irritating to me, because I'm once again, like I said last week, here's a man that has given us a multitude, a huge body of work, from TV shows to movies to producing to all these things. And it's just I'm not excusing this behavior because physical contact.
Altercations.
There we go. Physical altercations. I'm losing my words today. Physical altercations are should not be condoned regardless of what the situation is. And I completely agree. The Academy was going to have to show somehow or some way how this behavior is not accepted. But I can't help, once again, by talking about these white people that have been out here publicly known and privately known to be putting women and men in some very compromising situations.
They could have given him 1 year, 2 years, but they decided to do 10 years. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. And I don't think that it's going to stop Will from doing what he needs to do. So,
but it already is, in my opinion, because you already see Netflix. They were working on a film with him. I forgot the exact name of the film. And they are slowed down production. So it's
well, here's the thing. They never confirmed that they were not going to work with him. They just put it on pause. So
but
again,
pause I said might before, as well be stopped in Hollywood.
Well, not necessarily. No.
I don't know. Just be at work. I feel
a pause is different. Now, if they say we're not doing it at all, that's a whole different situation. But a pause could be okay, we're going to let Will get better because we know that he had an issue here. And then once he gets better, again, like I said, we don't know the communication on the back end. You know what I mean? So
I agree, but it's just, I'm too tainted to I know these words. You know what I mean? When people say it, it's the nice way of slowly trickling down. You know how the business is very politicky. And it's just like, let's think about all the other like film houses or people that want to be in good graces with the Academy or, you know, things of that nature. And they don't want to risk having the slap guy on their movie and not getting it promoted as much as maybe they would had he have been the goody two shoes Will Smith that everyone like pictured and painted him to be. Right. And I was just like,
I still feel like Will is a good guy. I just feel like I feel like he just got in the heat of the moment, and I feel like he has some trauma and triggers that came in the midst of a lot of people. And I think that maybe he kind of went back to that place and maybe he lost sight of reality of where he was in the moment, you know. But again, I mean, companies are going to do whatever they feel like they need to do in order for them to protect the image of their company. And I completely understand that. Like, you know, we can't get mad at that. But again, I don't think Will is really going to be, I think that he's still going to be good. I do think that he does need some time to kind of be able to reflect on some things. So, I mean, again, this could just be like a sit down. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen people go through situations where like
a sit down, dear Lord.
Huh?
I said 10 years worth of a sit down though.
I don't think that that's going to stop him from, we're talking about Will Smith, right? Like, we're not talking about just
that's like, how I felt, but I don't feel like you're treating it like that.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because I don't think that it's going to stop his creative power. I still think that Will Smith is still going to have an opportunity, you know, to still be able to work and be able to produce and, you know, bring, you know, continue to make his films. Now, again, like I said, he may be on a pause, but no, I mean, I do feel like Will needs some time. He doesn't need to go back into work right now. I feel like he needs some time to really be able to process what happened, because I feel like that was a very traumatic experience for him. Because even after he did the snap and he got on stage, he was in tears. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, you could see that there, you know, that like there's some level of pain that he definitely probably does need to address. And at the end of the day, yes, we love the Academy, but I don't think that it's going to be something that's going to halt his career. I mean, like, we've seen situations in the past where they said, oh yeah, this star is going to be banned for I don't know how many years, but it never really stopped them from doing whatever it was that they needed to do. So, I mean, we talk about Kanye, not that we're switching it, but I am. You know, like, we talk a lot about Kanye West and things that people have tried to stop him from doing, but I mean, he still progressed and move forward, you know, in spite of what people said or what they try to do against him. So,
there's several other people. That takes so like, we know how that feels, how much it takes out of us to keep fighting through those moments, to keep going as hard to make not to help make so that moment doesn't like deteriorate our whole career. And celebrity or not, yes, the past sorry, given like, yes, it may be a bit easier for him as a celebrity and all the credentials and maybe people they may know, but it's also like, he's still going to have to do this fight and climb. And it's going to have to get to a point where they feel like, oh, he's getting really big. You know what? Let's let him back in now. Let's get this like popping. And I'm just like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have a different perspective on things because we're talking about Will Smith. You know, we're not talking about any blowjob American. Will Smith is a person who, you know, I mean, he knows how to empower himself. He knows how to keep himself motivated. I mean, he's a human. Yep. You know, anybody who's human makes mistakes. Some of us make our mistakes in front of other people, and some of us make our mistakes behind closed doors. But either way it goes, I think that Will Smith has the tools that he needs to get himself back at 100%. I mean, Will's been in the business for a long time. I think he's going to survive.
Agreed. But, you know, I'm still going to make it very vocal of like how irritated I am of this due process that us as Black people have to go through to like, or these key things and words that we got to use to make white people feel like, okay, we got the picture now. Kind of like, you know, with jail and probation, like when you think about things like that, and it's just like, I've already spent 30 years in here. You're going to give me additional, like, it's just a lot of things that I'm just kind of, I don't even really believe in jail unless it's like extreme, like, but that's just a whole nother like conversation.
Yeah, it is.
We could definitely dive into another day, you know, but okay. Jussie Smollett, right? We've seen how the law has worked for his favor, and in my opinion, is working in his favor. And he's like out on, what is it, bond. And he's now released a song, Thank You God, speaking on his jail sentence experience. And I'm like, dude, like, you lied about having a noose around your neck. Like, that's a serious hate crime. And like, you clearly, in my opinion, were given like some fair sentencing, because this was untriggered.
5 or 6 months.
You see what I'm saying? This was like very like unnecessary. I feel like what you concocted just to stay on a show. And clearly your family is like plugged into a certain degree. And here you are, your privilege, or whoever you're connected to, it's working in your favor, where people like Will Smith that have a way more extensive resume and, in my opinion, should have more respect out here, he's being treated this way. Mm-hmm. What are your I did not listen to this Jussie Smollett song. I read parts of it because I'm like, this is nonsense. Like, this is serious trash. What were your thoughts on it?
It's a very interesting topic to pull apart, because number one, I didn't get a chance to watch the entire trial, but I know from the perspective of listening to him, listening to everybody else and what things were said, everybody kind of felt like he was very narcissistic in his approach of the way that he handled the judge. He was like, what, Your Honor, I really think this, this sentence is unfair, where it's like so many people have been, wrongfully accused of things and have sat in jail for half of their life. But I think, honestly, I'm not quite for sure if Jussie would have been able to mentally take that. Like, I just don't like the state of mind that it seems like he was in. I don't think that he would have been able to survive for 5 or 6 months, and whether we agree with him being out or not, I feel like he came out with this song, Thank You God, because he definitely knows the power it bees that were on his side. Okay. He definitely had somebody praying for him, or he knew that it was greater and bigger than the people that were around. He knew that God basically showed him grace and favor in this situation, because I mean, we've seen a history of people who have been wrongfully accused of things, and that, things have not always.
Do you feel like he was wrongfully accused?
I try to take the side of there's always several sides to the story, and listening to Jussie, he feels very convinced that this is something that he feels like really happened. And well, I was listening to the song, and he was talking about how he was saying how people can set you up, and sometimes people can make you seem like you're crazy and it's really you, when they're not really telling the whole story. So I think that there's some other parts of the story that happened that may not have been presented from Jussie's point of view or his side, and what actually went down versus, I guess, what they tried to position it as. So listening to the song, I got a better understanding of him. Just, it was almost like he was saying a prayer to God, but allowing us to listen to it, because he definitely got into the conversation of, being around people that you think you can trust, people using your fame, as a way to, get up in whatever industry that, I guess entertainment industry, we're talking about, to be able to get up and try to get notoriety, or, try to get fame, on their end, but they're trying to put dirt on your name. So I never want to be able to diminish someone's feelings. If someone feels like they're right, and this is, it is what it is. I mean, regardless of the evidence that's been shown, you know what I mean? I don't, I personally don't know what's going on with Jussie. Like, I wasn't there. So
I feel like you dancing, Nima. I feel like this man is lying. He had a lit night. I'm straight up saying it. I feel like he's lying. He had a lit night. Those two boys already said, here are the text messages. I don't want all the smoke. This is what happened. Fine, you were drugged up. Fine, you were intoxicated, whatever the case was, but own up your shit. And that's the part that's annoying with me. Like, even with this song, it's like, you're saying thank you, God, but not in a remorseful way. It's in a way that is just like, thank you, God, I got out of jail. Like, not
he's definitely saying thank you, God, in a remorseful way of saying, Lord, I know that it was only you who got me out of this situation.
Exactly. Got you out of jail, but not thank you. Not like a forgiveness to be like, you know what? Sorry for lying to the world about having like a noose on my neck and all of this, like going to Subway, this whole concocted like scheme you came up with just to stay on a show that got canceled already. And you have all these people, the politics again, all these people now that are forced because of their ties and whatever else may be to publicly be like, we support you, Jesse. And you know, at home, they're probably saying what I'm fucking saying. Like, boy, you were dead wrong. Dead wrong.
I mean,
it was very unprovoked. Get fired like everybody else and get a new job. Period. That's my like stance on it. I'm just irritated. A part of me feels like it's light skin privilege. All these things are just like compiling.
You said light skin privilege?
Yes. Yes. That's how I'm feeling.
So you think it's like, I don't think it's light skin privilege at all. I really think that it is by the
grace of
God. Because I'm telling you, I watched the video that Jesse was like, oh, this is not your honor. Okay, I take part in the things that I've done, but this sentence is not right. If something happens to me when I get in there, just know. I think that I think that right there, I was like, oh Lord Jesus, somebody please get that baby out of there because he is not gonna survive. Okay.
Well, then don't be making up fake crimes. And don't be doing all this foolishness if you're not ready for the repercussions. When I was naughty with my mom, it's not that I love to get beating, but I knew that that was a part of the discipline that I had to get my ass beat. Okay. And not that I'm condoning it for people and their children, but it's just, you deal with what you put out. That's a part of being grown. And I feel like a lot of these rich, privileged kids, Black or white, in the entertainment space, they're not in touch with reality fully, and they do things like this, and then when it comes time now for you to deal with real world consequences, it's plugs, it's resources, it's oh I'm sorry, oh it's, I like, come on.
I feel you. No, I mean, I totally feel you. I just, you know, sometimes like when it comes to people's emotions and feelings, and I try to be very neutral in the matter, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I don't know if this man has a mental illness, you know what I'm saying? Like he could be suffering from something deeper than what we completely understand. And when you're dealing with a mental illness is shape your reality. Even if it's not reality, it's, you know, it definitely makes you believe that what you're experiencing in your head or your mind or whatever is true. So my thing is that, you know, I feel like it was good that he didn't go to jail because he just, that last statement that he made, I was concerned for him. Like that was my child.
He got you.
Seriously.
He got you, Nima.
No, well, no, he didn't get me. It's just like, he just kept saying, if something happens to me while I'm in there, I'm just letting y'all know if something. I was just like, somebody.
He's an actor. I watched enough TV to know.
No, you're right. He is an actor, but at the end of the day, I
agree. He's not built for that life either. But don't be doing like dumb shit like that. Don't do that.
Please. Okay, look, just give him probation. Give him the little thing around his ankle or whatever you need to do.
Like you said earlier, she said give him the ankle. Like you said earlier, there's a lot of people that did not have that, you know, I don't know. I feel like even when his sister didn't pull up to the trial, but she publicly just did a little Instagram post, I feel like I'm reading in between the lines and it's saying a lot. Like, it's annoying. Like, you literally came up with this whole foolishness because you couldn't handle being fired from a show that got canceled anyways. And just like, build your skills. Do what real people have to do. But you're so used to privilege and getting your own way. You come up with this whole thing and you use this situation that you knew Black people would champion behind you at such a height when so many things were happening. Rest in peace to all the people that, you know, we lost and actually went through these things. You're going to be on public TV talking about you're the gay Tupac and all of this. Like, boy, oh yes. Let's not forget those things. Let's not forget those things.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't really hear that part. All I know is just, okay.
Google it. He's publicly there saying it with his own You know what I mean? Mouth.
Yeah.
Verbatim. So it's just like, you know what I mean? You got a whole team of lawyers. There's some people that can't even afford one lawyer and they end up with some shitty public defender. Well, what would he have said then if that was his reality?
Yeah.
Some people play too much. Move forward, because this situation clearly, like,
I know, girl, like you were upset at that baby, and I'm just like, look, I'm glad the baby's out of jail. Hopefully he is seeking some professional help, because
you know, they didn't have him in the real jail. You know that. Like,
they probably had him in like one of the juvie jails.
You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have him in the real thing where like the real people were like, yes, you walked in, and I've watched enough jail shows where, you know, you're walking in and all the people are like screaming at you and they're screaming things, and that little walk to your cell had you shit in your pants. Like, let me tell you something, Jesse. Don't go scheming the next time. Don't go making up these stories. He didn't even make up the story. He didn't even make up the story. That's the thing. Don't come up with these whole empire written plays for real life, because it's different out here. Okay.
He went straight into the movie scene, and reality is what he did, but it's all good.
He got so moving forward, The Real, which is the daytime talk show on BET Network, they recently announced that it's official. Their show is becoming canceled.
Okay, so what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I want to say.
Yeah, go for it.
I honestly feel like this show was going to be canceled, and I'm going to tell you why. Because during the pandemic, they changed like 4 or 5 networks. Like they went from
Fox Soul, I think at one point.
No, wait. So what was the original network they were on?
The Real. This is the one with Adrian Bellon.
I know, but what was it? Was it NBC or was it?
I'm pretty sure it was BET.
No,
it wasn't always BET.
No, I think it was. Anyways, whichever the initial station was that they were set for, they got picked up. Like, I don't know if they got dropped. Something happened. I remember because this is a little bit after I think Amanda decided she didn't want to continue her the next season with them. Like, and then I think then Tamara had, went away from the show. And then from there, they had the 3 ladies, but then from time to time, of course, like they had like guest hosts or whatever.
Let's say what it is. They forced her out. They forced Tamara
out.
I
don't listen, honey. I don't know
what I am saying. They forced
what they did.
Tamara
I'm just saying. I mean, like I definitely heard Amanda's opinion. Amanda, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the canceling of the show. So
for sure,
I want to stay on track. So when I saw it moving from this to Fox Soul, I didn't even know it was on BET. I'm like, wait a minute. And then it's like, they had a new host. I'm like, there are some serious changes going on with this show. And it sounds like they're just trying to find a place for it. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is a national show that was amazing. Like amazing. But I feel like during the pandemic, it had a lot of different things going on with the show that I feel like kind of moved it in a different direction. And I just feel, it has been an amazing show. It's been on for a long time. And, I think that unfortunately, sometimes things like this happen and, shows are canceled. I was on Twitter, and Lonnie made a post that a lot of people have been reaching out to her. Some people from the show, some people who are fans have been reaching out to her. And she says that, she kind of feels a little, iffy about everything, in terms of an ending, but she really appreciates people reaching out to her, just to give them like their warm, concerns and things like that. But I felt like at some point it was going to stop because it was just moving to too many different networks. And I was just like, we can't find this thing at home. Like this has been a national show for years. So, but I also think that I commend every lady who has been a part of the show because they have their own things going on. And a lot of times, when you have stars like this on this level, sometimes like, they just only have whatever show that, they're airing. But Adrian, Jenny, like all the girls, Lonnie, like they have their own thing going on. And even when any person that was attached to the show, they've always had something else going on, which I think is very, very important. So I think that this is the opportunity to allow them to be able to build their own audiences, in which now they have them. And then I think everybody's going to be fine. I think that just us as viewers, we're probably going to miss them because we just miss seeing them, which I'm interested to know who's going to take their place. But yeah, I wish all the ladies the best of success and everything. But again, all good things come to an end. We can't always hold on to good things forever.
Let me say something, but you being really nice and politica today, okay? No, let me say this. Let me say this, okay? None of these Black women that were on this show, exception of Tamara, were ever Black women at any point or women at any point that I was in tune to them to be like, I need to hear their take. I need to hear their opinion. It was very dry. It was very boring to me. And I feel like when you're not authentic to your true selves and you're just trying to sell and keep up with whatever contract you're trying to stick to, that's what's going to happen. Because if you go to this network, hold on, I'll let you go. If you go to this network, right?
No.
And
Amanda was very Amanda.
Yeah, but she wasn't there the whole time. That's someone I'm not even counting yet. I didn't even get to there yet. Right? I didn't even get to there yet. I'm speaking like even from the original, and I'm gonna get to that, where it's just like the minute they had some real fine, it wasn't maybe an audience for me because I understand that daytime talk TV, that's a different ball game in itself. But when you're trying, each network is gonna have their own requirements, their own things that they want to see. And I feel like it was very bland. It was very like unseasoned. And I just feel like as I said, no shade, no tea. I respect all the women, but just speaking on terms of like, just being honest, like Jenny May is not someone that I've ever like really looked to on Instagram to be like, this is who I want to, look to and whatever. Adrienne Bailon, she doesn't really have the best taste in my mouth because of the mean girl things that she has definitely done when it comes to her 3LW members from back then. And she just always like, I don't know, she always gave me this vibe of like, there were these certain girls in high school that were just very mean girl, and because they were of a certain like ilk, they would act a certain way. Lonely Love was also not like, I would have preferred maybe a Bevy Smith, something like that would have worked better for me. You know what I mean? But what they were trying to do was not it. And I feel like it just kept showing and showing and showing and showing. And the minute you had someone on there that I feel like was really helping it to be something, aka Tamara Braxton, aka Amanda Seales, and people of that nature, y'all let them go. Y'all wanted to water them down. You wanted it to be less seasoned. And it's just like, okay, so you want the show to be successful, but you don't want people to be who they truly are. You know what I mean? And that for me is just like the conflicted part, even the more I grow in the industry, where it's just like you sign these contracts and things of that, and you want to obviously get booked and get hired, but how much of myself do I have to give away or act all properly poised and all of these things to like make you happy versus being able to look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day? And the real to me was not the real.
I mean, listen, things happen in life. And I mean, I know you bring up the conversation of not Lonnie, but Adrienne. But I mean, she had already apologized to Notori. She'd already apologized and said whatever she needed to say. You know what I mean? So I'm like, my thing is like, I'm never going to hold. I do feel like people deserve second chances. Again, like I said, you don't understand when somebody's in the industry, there's so many different influences, especially as young girls. You know what I mean? And so I think that a lot of times, people have to reflect on their behaviors so that they know the right behaviors and the right intentions to show in a situation. And again, like I said, I love Adrienne. I think Adrienne is super cool. I love the fact that she's married to Israel Houghton, which is one of my favorite worship leaders of all times. I mean, nobody's perfect, but I do feel like the ladies were able to express their opinion. But I feel like there's a way that you have to deliver it whenever it's in a mass, setting, in which, something that Amanda was talking about when she was there, she just wasn't used to being in that corporate environment. And so she preferred to have her own opinion and be able to talk about the things that she finds near and dear to her heart in the most passionate way without any restrictions. She felt like it was better for her to be on her own platform. And that's completely understandable. I don't think it, is necessarily a bad thing. I just think that, it's just time for us to say goodbye, because it's just, I mean, we don't know about the ratings. Like, we haven't even talked about the the statistical
They were
aspect
low.
of, you know, the
They
show.
were
I mean,
low.
we don't, huh?
They were low.
Yeah, that's what I'm exactly. Again, whenever Tamara was there, and you know, I think Amanda, even Tamar, you know, like all of these ladies brought a lot of different attractions. And again, like I said, especially during quarantine, we had a lot going on. And Amanda was there during quarantine. And so, you know, again, like I said, as people grow, as you know, as things get better or worse or whatever, it's like sometimes those things may change the nature of the camaraderie between the host. You know what I mean? And again, like I said, like maybe it was just time for them to say, hey, it's time for us to move on something different. But again, I don't think any of them are really, really like, you know, gonna like not have anything to do after this. Like,
I agree with that point. They are all successful in their own lanes and what they choose to do, you know, their YouTube, whatever the case is. But I'm not gonna, like, when you think about shopping a show or you're pitching a show, the things you want people to be in tune with, I get the fact of 4 or 5 women coming and giving their honest takes on things happening. And it's just like, as I said, it was very in season. You could see the gel wasn't there. I felt like through the screen, it was never like honest and authentic. Personally, if I was Naturi, which I feel like that was the energy that was put out there, girl, you could keep your apology. Like, cool, it's all good for the public, but like, we know what you were really on. And yes, I love Israel Houghton as well, but even, who, child. Eat fruit and mind your business. I'm gonna just, you know, because I'm trying my best.
You're gonna eat fruit and mind your business. We're gonna go.
I try my best.
We're gonna go this way right here.
I try my best because, you know, like the words are just flowing today. But okay, with that, with that being said, success to all you ladies. I know you're not down and out. You will be okay. But you know, when they felt like their shit didn't stink and it was still popping, and they were kind of low-key stunting on Tamara, but here we are. And nobody wants to say they needed Tamara, but like, I'm gonna say it, like, they needed Tamara. They needed someone real, they needed someone authentic. And I feel like it just reminds me, as I said, when you have a bunch of women, that high school energy where it's just like there's always these group of girls, a group of women that feel like they're better, or they try to act whatever. And then there's the ones that don't really say anything, they just follow the leader in a sense. And yes, I feel like Amanda Seales was saying that without saying that as well. So, you know what I mean? I do agree with the fact that, and I've also had to learn over time, not how to tone down my Blackness, but a better way to articulate things and say things. But that is also like the beauty in owning your own platform and shit, because it avoids these situations. And look at Joe Rogan. How many times he say nigga? And Spotify still ain't got him out of there. They're like, please don't go. Please don't go. 500 mil. You want 7? You want 8? Please don't go. So we see how that works. And, you know, I'm not telling them to be ratchet and ghetto, but I'm saying there's a lot of things that I feel like they were not authentic about, and it bled through the screen.
Yeah.
And no matter how much people want to come for people like Wendy Williams or etc., at least she was authentic. Is authentic as much as possible in the sense of her delivery. I'm not speaking on the things she would share, but it's in the sense of like, you could tell this is her. It's not a
well, the thing about it, that I think that presentation is everything. And I think that, you know, again, 1,000%. Each of those women represents something that I feel like a lot of women out here in the world found themselves being able to relate to. So again, like I said, I don't have anything bad. I mean, I do feel like people were authentic. Maybe people, you know, I don't know. I can't necessarily say if they were or they weren't, because that's not something that I feel like I have the authority to, because I don't know. But as far as I feel like the girls gave us a lot of great pointers and a lot, you know, allow us to be in their world in a space to understand like how to be able to reflect as a woman on things that we want. Like, you know, I mean, it was real. And I definitely feel like it was real. You know, to me it was, you know, and so again, unfortunately, it's being canceled, but on to better things.
All right. I'm going to keep up with you, Nima. I'm going to see, you know, which one of these ladies still play an influence in your life moving forward. It's just like,
I love Adrienne. Listen, I love Adrienne. I love Jenny. And I also love Lonnie. But I think,
as I said, I'm going to check in because it's not even like, to be, it's not even like, to be harsh, but it's just like, everyone's trying to clean up their acts. And now in a time, especially when cancel culture is at an all-time high. And I just feel like I rock with Adrian Villa to a certain extent, but I'm saying like, just something always is just a bit off for me. But only time will tell, right? Only time will tell. J-Lo is engaged again. Congratulations. Her and Ben Affleck recently announced their engagement after, I think they said, almost a year of rekindling their flame. So I want to say congratulations to you, J-Lo. You know, as a woman, I feel like when you make this decision, maybe more than once, especially being in the public eye, there's a lot more scrutiny placed on you than like it would be a man, maybe on their like fourth or whatever marriage, etc. So I feel like she's becoming the poster child of do whatever makes you happy, whatever it makes you happy. And I subscribe to that. Like, you're rich enough, you got your own bag, like you look back in your roster and you said, you know what, let me call him, let me see what he's on. You know, whatever had went down with you and Rod, and you seem to be happy, you know what I mean? Because it's not like you need Ben. You don't. So I feel like as long as you're happy, Queen, do that. What were your thoughts on this recently announced engagement?
I mean, we kind of already knew that it was going to happen whenever we knew that they got back together. I think that.
You thought so?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I didn't think so.
I definitely thought so. Ben and Jennifer share very similar paths in the fact that, you know, they both been divorced, if I believe correctly. Don't quote me.
He was with Jennifer Garner. Yep.
Jennifer Gardner, yes, but she was with Antonio, right? Not Antonio Banderas. That's not what I was trying to say. I forgot his name. Mark Anthony. There we go.
Mark Anthony. Casper.
They were married. Yes, but her and Mark Anthony were married, correct?
Yep.
Right. So I feel like they have a lot of similar pasts, and I feel like at the time when they were in their relationship, they had a lot of other influences that were in the space of them being with what they needed to be for who they are now. And I feel like now they have matured and been through things in life, and now they're able to have a relationship that looks different than maybe however long ago they dated before in the past. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm happy for Jen and Ben.
So am I. Like, yes, the nostalgia does play for me as well, because I vividly like remember, you know, all those things that were happening, being young, seeing them together, the videos, all of that. But like, you know, just speaking, like, as I said, when it comes to like dating and stuff like that, I find sometimes, you know, when you observe certain couples or situations, sometimes those people that may be like all out there, you know what I mean? Then they come back and they're like, you know, we done done all this, and like I am ready for like this now in life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hey, like as I said, she has a bag, he probably has a bag of his own, you know, she has her children, like let's just have some fun. And yeah, just salute to them, whatever makes you happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled, he recently received his official star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I feel like that is well deserved. It was really amazing to see his entire like immediate family with him, being his wife, his two children, and seeing Fat Joe,
Jay, he had Puff,
Daisy, and Diddy.
Had Joe.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that?
There. I think it's awesome that they were able to be there for Khaled, you know, and be able to embrace him for the opportunity with him. It's nothing like, you know, having other legends, you know, around you, you know, or like other people in your industry, like brothers and, you know, people who are close to you going through the same thing that you're going through. You guys are making history together to be able to be present, in a time that you're being honored. That's a huge thing. You know what I mean? I think that that's very profound. So I'm very happy for him, not just getting an award because he knows who he is, but I think it's a great opportunity to see the support that he had around him.
1,000%.
So I'm happy for him. He the best.
And I just feel like, there's so much history even within that, because I was even saying to myself, I can't remember the last time publicly I've seen Fat Joe along with Jay-Z, given the history that they have.
Yeah.
And
with Puff. I mean, well, I don't want to talk about it. We're gonna stop right here. I'm listening.
No worries. And like Sean and Sean, it's always great to see them together. And Hove, Diddy, they don't pop out for just anyone. They don't just say, all right, like they got things to do. So that to me was also speaking on, yes, the level of love they really have for each other's brotherhood. And, as well being like heavily invested into like the dancehall reggae community. That is mostly where I got familiar with DJ Khaled, and just seeing how his growth and trying at the executive role and growing in that sense, and just like how far he's really come to really like learn of the culture, be authentic to it, and really rise within that. So I am so happy. I love what he promotes in the sense of like his family and
positivity,
showing people that, you can still be in this industry and still love your family and be there for your children as much as possible. And, even from the gate, we see him, I love you, honey. I love you, honey. And every chance you see him with his kids. And I feel like it's not just on social media. Like he's there whispering in their ear, telling them he loves them, telling them, words of affirmation. And, those things are so important. And you see the men that are standing behind him, people that I myself, have heavy respect for in the industry, given the years and the accomplishments. Like their resumes are stupid. So salute to you, DJ Khaled, well deserved, and only more to come.
Yep.
Only more to come. There's some new music we can go over quickly that came out. I was looking forward to Fabio Foreign, his debut album, and it was called, I'll say Bible, but it was like an acronym. I'm not sure for what yet, but I did have a chance to listen to the album. I have listened to it more than once. And like I was saying last week about Fabio, he's kind of, in my opinion, taking the torch on for people like Pop Smoke, where we did not get to see him have his full extent of a run in this industry. And hearing Fabio's project, I would like to say I'm super proud of him and, the diversity that he was able to show. I feel like when you are a drill artist and given maybe some of the background that Fabio has and gang affiliations people may assume, or, maybe true, and things of that nature, you want to show people that you can work with others. You want to show people that you're on time, that you're professional, that you take this seriously, and you want to show them that you have range. And I feel like he really did this with this project. And, some people may have said, oh, it's a bit feature heavy and etc. But for me, these are the reasons like why it was okay for me in this particular moment for it to be so feature heavy.
Right.
Were you able to take a stab at any of the tracks or like any of the songs or anything like that with the Fabio project?
I didn't get a chance to. I listened to the first single, but
yeah.
That's the music speaks for itself.
Even there was some poly, of course, that came around with the album, and I know stories were floating around, and he confirmed the story as well that like he did have a Say My Name sample in there, and Destiny's Child. Oh, wow. Destiny's Child, I think you'll really love it. It's with Queen Naija and Coily Ray. I love that song.
You know what? I think I actually probably have heard it before. I just
say my name. Say my name. I don't know. I really loved it. But he spoke on, be hearing the track. I was like, you gotta clean that up. You can't be talking about my woman like this. And he said he had to like clean it up, but he got the stamp of approval. And I feel like the track came out really well. So as I said, like, no shade, no tea to like other artists, but sometimes when they're given that direction, they take it as an insult or a diss. And sometimes it's not always about putting your foot down for every battle, but seeing that end goal. Like now he has on his resume, you know what I mean, a track that was approved and featured, and not featured, but approved by Destiny's Child, like one of the girl groups of our time. So if not the Coily Ray, she dropped Trendsetter. And I was proud of her because she's putting so much into it. This is a young girl, as I said, I really am rooting for her, despite all the mess that her dad like tries to bring into it. And she's really paving her path, and I'm happy to see that. Sonically, the album, you know, of course it wasn't all hits like No Parties in LA was, but I feel like she has a lot more room to grow, and she did a good like standard job of, okay, these are the tracks I have out. She has her own sound. She doesn't sound like anyone to me. And as well, all these other projects that are dropping, she's on it. So on top of her having her debut album drop, she also is all these other places where you can get that diversity from her and be like, okay, this girl is here working. Yeah. Any thoughts on Koi Koi, Trendsetter, anything you've been seeing on socials or anything?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like when somebody comes up with a project, everybody has something that they want to say. And it takes some time to really dissect it and listen to it to really even make an opinion about it, you know?
1000%. 1000%. Bia dropped her song and video with J. Cole titled London. And like, honestly, like I see this going nuts everywhere. The video was crazy. Visuals were crazy. The cadence was crazy. And like, I'm in love with it all. Like she knew the assignment, did what she had to do. And J. Cole, I'm a huge fan regardless. So every time, not to say if J. Cole doesn't come with it, I'm not going to be like J. Cole did not come with it, but he knew the assignment as well. And everybody
always does.
And did what they need to do.
I mean, for me, it's J. Cole. It's just J. Cole for me. Because J. Cole is just, he comes with so many different elements of why he makes the song even much greater than what it already originally was.
Facts.
It's Jay.
Facts. And, you know, it's just, Bia is another talented woman that I just can't wait to see her grow even more and her development just rise, because she's so talented and I feel like she has much further for us to see. And I'm excited to just root for her on that path. Chloe, she dropped the Treat Me song and video, and sis also knew the assignment. I felt like
she did. She always does though. I mean, Chloe's really emerged into an art into her own artistic expression. I mean, I know sometimes people scrutinize her. They say, oh, she's over sexualized, but I don't think that she is. I think listening to her story and understanding the issues that she had with her image and her body. And I think now she has learned to embrace who she is as a woman and learn to embrace things about herself that maybe, you know, she was told to hide. So I'm just very, 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 very proud of her. Sometimes I don't think she gets enough roar as she should, but I mean, I get it. Like, I think, well, I can't say that she, well, I mean, that's her mentor, but she definitely parallels Beyonce in a lot of different ways. You know 100%. What I mean? And so that's the reason why.
But I'm not mad at it. If you're doing it right, I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? She has the details down, the choreography down, the vocals are down, and it's just like, I feel like the reason why it's quiet is because, once again, it's like that hater woman energy that I was speaking about earlier when it even comes to the other women, where it's just like women have a tendency at times, you know, to get quiet when like there's nothing to say. And I've never been that type of woman to like, you know what I mean? You come on here today, Nima. First thing I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you look so great. Love the orange, love the hair, love everything. I'm not that type of woman to just see you and be like, even though I know you look damn good, like what is wrong with lifting each other up? And I feel like similar. That's kind of like the things that Beyonce had to go through. So I'm happy that it seems like Chloe has like a strong circle around her, and that hopefully she does not waver who she is. And like you're saying, she came out as a pair with her sister. Like, don't play with her. Honey knows how to play instruments. She has choreo, all the things.
Very,
so
very, very talented. Like,
yes,
she's only scratching the surface right now.
Only. So I'm very happy for her. That Treat Me video was on 10 for me. Like, ooh, like I'm seeing all the frames and I was just like, sis killed it. Like she did her thing. So kudos to her. I mean, if you're gonna imitate Beyonce, which I don't feel like she's doing, she's being herself. She's just,
she's really being herself,
paying respect.
And it seems like, similar to Beyonce because Beyonce represents her. So it is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, so that is like eat fruit and mind your business. That is like fruit salad for this week. I feel like it was great. I feel like a running theme that we had throughout this week's episode is like authenticity and being like true to yourself and just kind of like shutting out the haters as much as possible. And especially in a time when, you know, a lot of people, it's hard not to compare. You're looking left to right. You're scrolling on social media and stuff. I feel like your only competition is you. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're authentic and you're in your lane and you're paying respect to what you know, deserves to be paid respect to, like, your time will come. Your time will come. What are your thoughts on, like, you know, just, I guess, what you felt like the running theme for was this week and things of that nature?
The running thing for, in terms of all the stories that we talked about?
Yeah, just like your take on it and like.
I think there's a lot to take on it because I think that there's a lot of different situations where we dealt with a lot of people who had certain consequences that they had to deal with the repercussions of it. And I think, and then learning how to, you know, when, even though there's a good thing that lasts for a long time, sometimes, you know, you have to, you know, release and let that go, and just, you know, being honored, even though you've been a star for all these years, like now you have the opportunity of being honored before, you know, your friends. And man, I think that every situation teaches us a lesson about life and better helps us understand that regardless of whatever season that, you know, that life we're in, it's very important to always be reflective wherever you are in your life, because, you know, things are going to change, times are going to change, life is going to change, your body, your mind. But when you're a reflective person, then you're able to handle whatever comes at you. And so I think the biggest thing, are we giving our doses for the week?
Yes, go for it. You're right.
I think my thing is learning how to process where you are and make peace, you know, so that you can be able to move forward progressively. Because sometimes, like, we allow things that have happened to us or things from the past to really like stifle our progress, right? But the reality is that it's very important to be reflective and just know that everything is not always going to be forever. So within that time frame that you have to make the best of it. You have to live life to its fullest. And make sure that, you know, you're always feeding what needs to be fed, and you're not feeding what does not need to be fed. So, you know, at the end of the day, be reflective and be honest, and so many more doors will open up for you.
1000%. Like, every time I try to fit into a box or be as neat and polished as Mima or something, like, I feel like things did not work in my favor. But when I'm authentically myself, that's when God has blessed me and truly opened doors for me in ways that, like, I couldn't even like imagine. So you must be yourself. You cannot try to be like Nima or try to be like me. You must try to be like yourself, and the best self at that. You know, everything you said, I'm 1000 piggybacking, so I ain't even got much to say because you did that. You said that. So I'm wishing you guys an amazing week. You know, share your thoughts with us. Let us know what you think. Make sure you're following Downtown World and Eat Fruit podcast across all platforms. Nima, let everyone know where they can follow you, support you, and all of the things.
2. Number 1, Nima Sky. Sky spelled with ending with an E, and then All That Talk with Nima Sky, which is All That Talk in S. Thank you.
Yes. So you guys have an amazing week. As I said, leave your honest opinions. Thank you guys all for your feedback. They really show love to you, Nima. So
thank you.
You're here. And I appreciate everything. And
eat fruit and mind your business.